Hey, Brian. Hey, everyone.
Hey.
Hey, thanks for watching here on YouTube, live or after the fact. Yeah, let's kick it off. Hello, and welcome to Python Bytes, where we deliver Python news and headlines directly to your earbuds. This is episode 442, recorded July 28th, 2025. I'm Michael Kennedy.
And I'm Brian Ocken.
You can connect with us and the show over on Mastodon or on Blue Sky. You can find the links at the top of the show notes to all the different accounts for me, Brian, and the show on those various places. If you want to be part of the live show, as I know some of you I can see now are, then join us usually Monday, 10 a.m. Pacific time on YouTube, pythonbytes.fm/live. That'll take you there. And if there's a live episode going there, even like point out, hey, we're live right now, and here's how you find us. So we appreciate all the live interactions. It makes the show better, we think.
Yeah.
And yeah, so support all of our work, Brian, through his 3 courses. You got 3 courses right now at pythontest.code?
Yeah, 3 or 4, something like that.
Beautiful. And obviously the courses over at Talk Python, got a bunch of them. And I have more to say about that later, actually. So some very cool things coming there. And with that, yeah, let's... Oh, let me check one thing really quick here. No, out in the audience, they say my mic might be up, Brian, but this making noise?
Yeah.
Well, then we're on track. We're on track. And again, welcome to the live version, folks. Brian, what's our first item?
Well, I was going to talk about which button do we push? That one? Okay. I wanted to talk about open source security, actually security with respect to open source projects. And this is something that Seth Larson likes to talk about. He's the security dude at, isn't he? Does some security for...
Yeah, this is official title is security dude at the PSF.
Security dude. So he's got an article, open source security work isn't special. But it kind of is, but it's kind of not. So the discussion is around how one of the amazing things about open source work is you can have contributors from around different places. You can have people helping with the community building, people helping with development, docs, tests, funding, all sorts of stuff. People can help out. Security is one of those things, and but one of the topics really is that Seth brought up is that people kind of think of security as different because it's so important. You don't like if something just randomly came in and like implemented a cool feature, you can look at the code and go, oh yeah, that's kind of neat. Maybe we'll take it, maybe we won't. But if somebody wants to modify the security settings or do something around security with your project, either of the project, the project code itself, or just the community around the project and maybe the website or something, that would be a little scarier. So how do we? But maybe it shouldn't be. One of the things he brought up, which is really important, is we kind of want the core maintainers to be like the people that only can muck with the security stuff, but they might not have the skills necessary. So maintainers, especially for smaller projects, are almost always experts in the domain of the project, but not necessarily security experts. And that's definitely the case for me. I could see myself working on like the test code or some other application, but I'm not going to be the security expert. So I would love to have somebody help out, but there's issues around that, right? So the article goes into discussing things like trust and different things. One of the benefits, like let's say we had security specialists that work on lots of different open source projects. They could, because they are understanding multiple projects, they can see how other projects are triaging vulnerabilities and learn from different projects. So we kind of want to spread that knowledge around between projects, and having security experts bounce around would be good. Just like we might have people that are good at PyTest jump around and help out with the test code on different projects. We could have security experts, but how do we trust them? And he does talk about trust. And one of the great things about how to trust people is to meet them, like actually go to like conferences and stuff and meet people in person. Um, and I think that's important, but I would say, like, for a project of mine, um, I would if somebody said they wanted to help out with the security aspect of it, I would, if they had a portfolio, like, if they're already a contributor to like Flask, I'd be like, oh yeah, well, they do security for Flask. They totally can work on this. Um, so building, and I think that's kind of where Seth is going, is to try to build up a community of trusted security people within the Python open source community. And I think that'd be really cool. So cool article.
Yeah, it's a neat idea. Like, why should it be special, right? You don't restrict the looping aspects of your project to like, well, these are the loop specialists.
Yeah, well, he did talk about like the scary bit of like that XZ thing or whatever, where somebody kind of pushes into a project to help with something else, and then they maybe are. One of the fears is also is if a security person changes something, I don't know if it's bad or good, right? Because I'm not the security expert. So, yeah, dealing with that. But Seth is like saying that that's not as big of a problem as we might think, and part of the trusted people around it would help. But
Yeah, I would say diverging slightly from Seth's article, it might be worth just asking your favorite code AI agent, like, hey, don't make any changes, but please do a security review of my code and explain the issues and see if it finds anything. Or if somebody makes a change, you could say, hey, AI, what is the security impact of this change? It's, it's not necessarily 100% perfect, but it's sort of like double input accounting sort of thing, right?
yeah, but right, yeah, that'd be cool. Also things like for instance, if you've already hooked up Bandit to a project to do like a bit testing for security, um, like adding that to another project. If you see another project that you work with, it doesn't make sense. One of
I
the
don't know about that
aspects,
advice, Brian. I don't know. If
you know,
someone or something is named Bandit, do you really want to put them in charge of security? That sounds a little sus, honestly. No, Bandit's a cool tool. Sorry, had to do it.
the other topic that he brought up that I appreciated was we do talk about companies utilizing open source projects a lot. So this is where it really makes sense. A company is probably going to have some security experts, right? A larger company, those people could look at the dependencies and contribute to those projects that don't like live up to their security standards. Go ahead and contribute to help make them better, so that
Yeah, that's a good point. Instead of saying this thing's not secure enough for us, like, and we'll do a few PRs and then it will be.
yeah, exactly. So
Exactly. You know what probably is up to most people's standards is UV.
yes,
Yeah, so UV is killing it. And a major release has been released of UV. And so I want to give a shout out to that. However, between the time I noticed that, there have been 3 more releases. So there's actually a 0.8.3 and .2 and .1 and so on. There's a smaller changes for those, but one that's notable is you can now get Python 3.14, which I know you're going to give a little shout out to. The release candidate, you can get that through UV Python or just V and V and say that right. But the real notable one here is the big changes from 0.8.0. So they say, hey, since V7 back in April, I'm just going to like stomp on the 0 version. This is version 7. No, just kidding. 0.7 back in April. They've got a bunch of changes and improvements, but they could break some workflows. So they've been kind of holding those all back and they're letting them loose in 0.8. So for example, this is the one I'm most excited about, the stabilization of a couple of UV Python install features, which is also UV, VE, and V if you don't have that version of Python installed, right? Like that sort of implicitly happens.
Yeah.
So one that I was asking for, as soon as I saw that UV would install and manage Python, I'm like, is there a way that one of these could somehow become the Python instead of being stashed in some crazy path, right? Like, could it be in tilde dot local slash bin, for example, right? Well,
Yeah.
yes. Now, so the new change is it will install Python executables into a directory on the path. So you can basically manage your system Python sort of via UV Python install. I think that's pretty cool.
Okay. Is that what that default flag does? The dash dash?
Yes. Yeah. If you put, well, it used to have, so it says if you UV Python install, now it installs a version of Python into a directory on the path by default. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah,
It does it? Yeah. All right.
I think it just does it, which is it's pretty interesting. I'm pretty psyched about it. It registers Python versions with the Windows registry. I imagine that means like, Windows is all about the registry. So it probably means like other tools can discover that Python is installed and so on. It has a little bit of safety about removing virtual environments if you're going to recreate them and things like that. There's a bunch of other changes here. So this is like a pretty serious release. I guess the last one that's pretty interesting here, maybe two even. One is that UV build is now the default backend of UV init, which creates a project and a pyproject.toml and those kinds of things, right? Remember it was hatchling, and then we were like, well, is it hatchling? Like, how is the build backend specified and so on? Well, now it's UV build.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's very cool. I've been using UV build for a long time, but just typing UV space build instead of, run that or whatever. Okay. And then it also sets the UV tool bin directory on Docker images. This is kind of a pain because if you install stuff, a lot of times the Docker images don't have access. So if you're not paying attention, you like try to build a Docker image, and then the next step in the build is run one of the tools you've installed to make something happen, and it'll say can't find this tool. You're like, well, where is it? You know what I mean? So you got to set the path and so on. So now you can. That's a little easier, and so on and so on. Like, look at all these changes for just a 0.7 to 0.8.
It's the second digit may as well be the major digit.
Yeah, that's why I was calling it version 7 and version 8. I'm like, these are just major versions. They're just not committed to majorness. Anyway, fun stuff. All right, back to you.
Okay, I've got a bunch. I couldn't decide, so I'm going to do a bunch of extras. First up, Python 3.14 release candidate 1 is a go. This is from Hugo. I guess that's it. I guess this was 6 days ago, so we may have already covered it last year or last week. Don't remember. So
I don't think we did cover it. I think this is new news, and this is a big deal. The release candidate means, beta is supposed to mean that it's no features, no changes, but now it's very, very close to what we're going to see in October or whenever it comes out. So people could maybe start testing with it and
so that's where the call to action comes. Is we strongly encourage maintainers of third-party Python projects to prepare their projects for 3.14. And so if you've got CI pipelines for testing, now's the time to turn it on. If your project doesn't work with 3.14, this is now actually you should have brought it up sooner, but you can bring it up now to say, hey, there's an issue. And so there's a link to the Python bug tracker, and then a list of all the different features and whatnot, build changes, incompatibilities on here. So that's first. Please test everything. And okay, so that's my first item. Second item is Strings WTF. So this This was brought to us by Armin Runeker, encouraged by Lucas Laga and Yuri. So this is, I took this. Have you taken this yet, Michael?
No, I haven't. And by the way, fstrings.wtf is the domain name.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. So this must the top level domain of WTF. Gotta love it. So it's just a little quiz thing. The first question is awesome. So if you print F hello world, what do you get? Really doesn't matter what you answer.
You get,
They're all...
no, what you get is a linting error.
So it's correct. F strings are working exactly as you expect. It's anything, but you go through. There's 26 questions, and it's a little it's tricky right off the bat. Like, I know that the ellipses object is a thing. So what happens if I do that? Well, there's no curly braces. So of course it's just anyway. It's a fun thing. I thought I was going to do great since I do F strings all the time, and I got like half of them right. So I learned a lot in going through this. So I highly recommend.
All right, well, you're going to make me have to do it now as well.
Yeah. So this is good. Plus some of the descriptions and no funny business here. We just a literal string with 3 dots. There's some good commentary within the quiz also. So highly recommend. Django turns 20. Happy birthday, Django. So we're going to link to birthday20 djangoproject.com. There's a whole bunch of celebrations planned, and it's so this is kind of fun. There's a map even of like if there's a party near you. It's kind of fun to go if you're a Django person. Where's the closest one to me? Looks like in October 17th, I could go down to San Francisco if I wanted to. So at Pi Bay, nice. So anyway, there's that. Yep. MakeDocs redirect. I've been using MakeDocs lately a lot for documenting a bunch of stuff. I like MakeDocs, but sometimes, and I'm actually doing some fairly big websites, documentation websites with MakeDocs. Works pretty good. But sometimes I put things in the wrong place, right? And with Hugo, I've been used to being able to like move things around and have both links work. Like if you move it somewhere else, but have the old link still work. That doesn't work right out of the box with MakeDocs. There's not a thing. So there's a MakeDocs redirects plugin that allows you to have the old name and the new name. So I haven't actually tried this yet, but I need it. So I'm going to try it today.
Yeah.
And my last extra that I wanted to bring up is just an article that I enjoyed called by Patty Carver saying, "I'm tired of talking about AI." And actually, even if you're not tired of talking about AI, I think this is a good thing to like read through, because there's some things that I think that a lot of people are feeling like, should I? Because I've heard there's a lot of comments in here and reactions to comments like, if you don't start now, you won't be able to find work soon. That's scary, especially if I don't have time to work on this right now. And I know that the commentary often is, well, you don't have time because you're not using AI to free up your time. That's a tedious discussion, but I think that there's some of the cool reaction here is this just doesn't make sense. We're telling people that AI is going to help them. Like pretty soon, anybody off the street can be a coder with AI. Well, if that's true, then why is it so important for me to learn it today? Can't I learn it next week when I really need it? And I don't agree with everything in this article, but there's some great logic in here. I like it. So plus great writing. So that's all of my extras.
Awesome.
All right.
Let's see, what have I got? So I want to talk about toads.
Wet Sprocket,
right? Yeah, Toad the Wet Sprocket. By the way, one of the best bands from the 90s. Come on, Toad the Wet Sprocket. It was amazing. So this one comes to us from Will McGugan. I see out in the audience, Will is providing the perfect transition here for us. AI fatigue is very real. Yes, I agree. I agree. Well, but he is also helping, contributing both to this. Thank you,
Yeah,
Will.
thanks a lot,
This
Will.
this project called Toad, which originally was going to be called Textual Code, but became Toad, is a improvement on the terminal-based agentic AI sort of programming story. So Claude Code and Gemini and all those types of things, they've got really pretty poor terminal experiences, even though that's their only user interface, which is interesting. Like, for example, if you resize the terminal after you get an output, it can like screw up the formatting and stuff, which is weird. All sorts of things. So he came up with this cool project that has basically taken advantage of textual to create like a really nice terminal experience. And so,
Oh, cool.
yeah, it's the idea is that it's supposed to be a universal front end for AI in the terminal, and you can even go and watch like a little demo that he's put together, UV Run Toad, which is pretty fun. And I think this is an agentic example. He says write a Python code to display the Mandelbrot set, and then boom, just off it goes. Write it with in the terminal with code formatted nicely and syntax highlighting and all that. Then you can say run it. You can say explain it. You get the modal dialogues, all the things you would get from textual, right? So Will says this is not yet a thing you can just go grab, but down at the bottom, you can say Toad isn't quite ready for public release. It remains a tadpole for now, incubating in a private little pond of a repository. But, he's all about Voss, so it will be out soon enough. In the meantime, you can, there's ways to get early access to it. For example, sponsor him. So, cool project, Will. I want to just give that a shout out.
Yeah, definitely. I always pay attention if Will's doing something.
Exactly. So I guess you probably don't have any extras since you just talked about your extras, right?
I do. Yeah, I don't have any extras.
You don't have an extras. Let's say that. No more extras. So I'm going to be releasing a new course really soon. So make sure you are a friend of the show. That could be Python Bytes or Talk Python gets a little bit, send a few more emails over there that might be talking about it. So if you go to talkpython.fm, click on newsletter, share your name and email, and I'll let you know. But very soon, I'm going to have an excellent course coming out. I think people are really going to enjoy. All right, with that, shall we make a joke?
Yes.
If one joke were good, wouldn't two be better?
Sure. You'd think, yeah.
You would think.
Depends on the joke.
That's true for a while until at some point you're like, okay, either I'm tired of jokes or my cheeks hurt, whatever, stop. All right, so here's the first one. What are the heaviest objects in the universe? And it's got this like general relativity sort of space-time curve continuum thing. So we've got the sun, and it bends space-time a little. The neutron star, obviously super big, much deeper than the sun. The black hole is almost a singularity. But what is more singularity than black holes? Node modules.
Node modules.
The node_modules folder from when you create a new project. It's just like, I tried to use two libraries and npm installed them or yarn installed them. And why are there 250 things in node modules? Pretty fun. This is good. This is a short little one. But even better, we have Azurus Cloud API. Cloud architect, senior platform engineer. This is a very fun video, and I'm not sure if I got the right link. I have to update that potentially. Anyway, this comes from us. I believe this is from Programmers Are Also Human, and it is a 6-minute video that is just hilarious.
This dude is on fire. I love all those videos.
Yeah, he's the same guy that did the vibe coding YouTube jokes. And so this is a YouTube video, obviously. We're not going to go through it, but
yeah. But
if you need a laugh, watch it.
Let's read the titles of the books on this desk, though.
Go for it.
So we got how to do cloud, and what? How to move back on prem, right next to each
They're right
other.
next to, yeah, exactly, right next to each other. We
What's the
also have
first one?
introduction to guesstimates.
Introduction to guest.
And then he has a coffee cup that says DevOps, agile with root access.
Yeah,
But yeah, it's really good. He's like, and it's in this Einstein type of character that also has a bit of a Greek accent, I believe. It's really good. It says they send us our cloud bills in scientific notation because they're so big. It's really good. He also gets a phone call during the interview and he answers it and he goes, "What? No, it's probably DNS. Man, it's always DNS." He goes, "Yeah, this guy just called. Somehow he has root access, but I don't know who that was." Just goes on.
Nice.
It's really good. If you like one-liners, it's just like a string of them. It's great.
Yeah, very good.
Yeah. Well,
Might be not safe for work, not because there's anything explicit in there, but you're not going to be able to watch it and not laugh out loud. So
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. If you're in a serious environment, you might need to wait till lunch.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right.
Well, they don't need to wait till lunch to listen to our show.
No, we're not that
Definitely.
funny.
Fair enough. All right. Thank you everyone for watching, for being here. Talk to y'all later. Bye, Brian.
Bye.